Arrowfield Stud has a great reputation as the leading vendor at the Inglis Easter yearling sale, and when you see the success on the racetrack of Inglis graduates, it's easy to see why. This year they're welcoming the first yearlings by their champion racehorse, the Autumn Sun, who's hoping to follow on the legacy of this guy with his own statue, another son of Redout's choice, four-time champion Australian sire Snitzel. In this preview, we look at some fabulous fillies from Arrowfield Stud, looking to follow in the footsteps of some fantastic Group 1 performers. John, it's always a pleasure coming to Arrowfield Stud and seeing these, it's a new generation of what we know will be racetrack champions. And we've filmed so many of your wonderful yearlings who've had such success, such as Magic even just last year, that have gone on and are already producing on the racetrack.
Yes, we've filmed some wonderful horses over the years. Magic, of course, last year, who was the sale topper, and looks like a genuine Group 1 prospect this autumn. Before him, there was Estajab, who was a Golden Slipper winner, was a filly that we loved, and so we hope that we've got some similar calibre horses this year.
And the history of the property, I know what John Massara and the family and all of you have tried to do is build generations of your broodmares and of course your stallions as well. And we're seeing the first of the Autumn Suns this year, and it's been so exciting so far seeing how well they've sold, and so many are absolute peas in the pod of this champion colt.
Look, he's a magnificent horse and we're so excited by his first crop. They've sold particularly well at all the sales so far. And I think there's been some exceptional individuals, horses that you would think would gallop for certain. They really have impressed us with their depth and strength and athleticism, so we're really excited for those going forward. But you're right, we've worked very hard on developing our broodmare band and developing families, and this year we're selling some wonderful fillies from those families that gives other breeders and people an opportunity to not only buy a racehorse but also buy a broodmare that they might have for generations.
And speaking of the fillies, you've chosen to focus on 5 fillies going to Inglis Easter 2022. Tell me sort of the reasoning behind that, because as we said, the generations that people can breed on from these fillies it's non-ending.
Well, the fillies that we've suggested that we show you today are fillies from really important families that we're continuing to develop, and families that we think are great taproot families. And I think they're really important sort of fillies from these families that will be known for generations. In particular, the Miss Finland family, which we'll see a filly from. It's an opportunity for breeders this year, and maybe a one-off opportunity where we offer these fillies of this calibre. So we thought, well, if we focus on those, people will get an opportunity to see what we have to offer at the coming sale.
Well, we start with lot 448, as you mentioned. This is the filly from Stay With Me, the 1,000 Guineas winner, and the daughter, of course, of your champion in Miss Finland. And by done deal, she sort of really has that powerful sort of, deep girth, big strong back end, and really sensible sort of filly with the high shap done deal walk. But Stay With Me is already doing the job too, which is fantastic to see, with Always On My Mind, a winner, and of course Waltz On By, second in the Talon Dirt.
Yeah, look, both of those fillies I think are Group winners in waiting. Always On My Mind is headed for the Group 1 SA Oaks, and the other filly, Waltz On By, was a great run in the Blue Diamond, still waiting to get a run, and she's more of a 1,000 Guineas 3-year-old type, we think. It would be wonderful if she could emulate her mother and grandmother, both won that race. So they're the first 2 foals of the mare. This is the 3rd foal, so it's a magnificent family. Maybe there'll be three generations of Group 1 winners. In fact, Miss Finland's grandmother won the English Oaks, so that's how good a family this is. And this is, I think, in my opinion, an outstanding filly. Probably as nice a done deal filly as we've ever bred.
Lot 424 by your four-time champion Australian sire in Snitzel, and again from a Group 1 winning mare, Silence Edition. She won the William Reid, she won the Summon, she won the Mannerism twice as well. And this is just such a Snitzel, isn't this filly? Really powerful, she gets on with it, a good walk, and just sort of went straight into a beautiful sort of stand-up too. So just again, the best representation of what's been sent to Snitzel.
Exactly, and look, she's a glorious filly. I think she's very comparable to Esther Jarve herself as an individual. We thought she was outstanding. This filly, in my opinion, is equally as good as Snitzel filly, and she was a great race mare, Silence Edition, as you mentioned, and another one from a great taproot family. You know, grandmother Porter Rocker was a Coolmore winner. You've got a Dubai World Cup winner right there on the page, so this is a really important family. And Silence Edition looks like doing the job as a broodmare. She's by War Chant. Our own Shalar is out of a War Chant mare, so she ticks every box for me, and I think she's a cracking filly.
Next is lot 463, a filly by Morris from Teaspoon, a Snitzel mare. So of course we know he's definitely going to be a champion broodmare sire with so many wonderful fillies to his name. She was a two-time winner. She won the Widden Stakes. She was out and running early, sister to Aliana Tilda, Smites' Trish, Freestyle, Stella Artois. Just a great fillies family through there too. And Morris, I mean, what an incredible job he's done just in recent times with Hitotsu coming back, winning the Australian Guineas, Mizzou winning the Fireball, and the Beast from the East has thrown another wonderful filly here.
Yeah, she's a lovely filly, lovely scope in that to her. A fair bit bigger than her mother, who was a really talented 2-year-old we had with Michael Friedman. And this filly is, as you say, Morris is doing such a great job. Incredibly versatile, the Morrises. His first crop, he's got some, you know, a couple of amazing horses. And this filly she represents that family which has been so precocious and such a good filly family as well. So we've got high hopes for her. She's got probably more scope than a lot of that family. So I would expect she'd be a 2-year-old come 3-year-old as well.
Next is lot 359 by Not a Single Doubt from Presque Isle, a Japanese mare. She was a winner over the 2,000 metres in Japan, which is the toughest of company really worldwide. But she's such a Not a Single Doubt, this filly, isn't she? That, big barrel, plenty of engine room there. She's so like Dad. And that great Sunday Silence blood in there as well. And a great action. This is a super filly.
Yeah, lovely action. She, as you say, she's a lot like Not a Single Doubt, like the best Not a Single Doubts. But again, a very important family internationally. Her grandmother was a top-class performer in France and the USA. Her 3 half-sisters have all thrown major Group 1 winners. And a third dam was a champion 2-year-old in America. So as good international blood as you can get, and this is a glorious filly, yeah. She's marvellous action on her, and I think when people see her, they'll be she'll be on every second list.
Yeah, and not many Not a Single Doubts left, are there?
No, this is the end of them, unfortunately, and what a great servant he's been to the farm. We'll miss them immensely, but this is as good a filly as we've seen in several years, I'd say.
And finally, something I'd love to get my hands on, that's a filly by the Autumn Sun. Of course, the champion, as we know, as we talked about at the top of the piece here, Angel of Mercy herself, she won 6 times, including a Lord Mayor's Cup in Brisbane, the Group 3, several other stakes races. Family of Divine Madonna, it's just a wonderful, again, a great fillies family. And that great Redout's Choice Hassanay cross that we see through the Autumn Sun as well, the son of Redout's Choice. Just a wonderful, quite a leggy sort of filly, isn't she? And he's put a little bit of size in there as well.
He does put a bit of size into them. He's quite a big, leggy horse himself. And as you say, it's a marvellous cross. Redout's and Hassanay's been absolutely magic. He's a tremendous outcross blood, Hassanay, the way he's bred by Mr. Prospector. And this filly was a glorious foal. She was one of the most beautiful foals you'd ever see. And now she's just grown into a beautiful yearling. She's athletic, she's got quality, she's just got the right size. And she's typical of the Autumn Suns in that she's got that beautiful depth and shoulder to her. So we love her, and I think the market will appreciate her as well.
You know, we are rolling into the very best sale. Everything else sort of feels a bit like a prelude, doesn't it, to Inglis Easter, and Arrowfield, I'm sure, again, will be right up there at the top of the tree with a fantastic draft.
Well, I think we've got a great draft. We've got the biggest draft we've ever taken to Easter, but we've got some lovely horses there, and importantly, I think we've got some very good racehorses. So. And that's, for us, that's what it's all about. If we can produce good racehorses, then everything else looks after itself.